Hi guys, welcome to our training today called Heightening Our Response. So as custodians, we already know that we're essential, we're frontline people, that we are here to respond to things like extreme weather, snow, natural disasters, that kind of thing. Uh, but, well, we really need to heighten our response. Get better at what we do, master our craft, if you will. And today's training is designed to help you do that. So let's get started. So, emergency response, things like extreme weather and snow removal, etc. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about communication, email, group text, building schedule time, and how we should do that for these events. And you are the intelligence. Think about it as a military operation. You're the intelligence officer. You're also the boots on the ground. You are the one that is finding out what's going on and reporting back. You're the front line for all information. So, you like this guy here with the cell phone and the flashlight and the handbook and the first aid kit and the hand cleaner and the antiseptic ointment and the disposable gloves. I mean, really, it's not funny because it really is what we are. So, now let's get into extreme weather and snow removal. So, I'm not going to go over the particulars of snow removal. Y'all should know how to do that. But one thing that we sometimes forget to do is forecast and anticipate. How many times do we have a snowstorm that pops up that, oh, I didn't put gas in the car, or I didn't get up early, or, oh, wow, there's snow out there on the ground. This is a foreign concept to me because I watch the news, or at least I listen to the news. And with this awesome thing, you have the ability to check the weather and see what's going on in the world around you. So you need to listen to forecasts. You need to anticipate. Hey, chances are there's going to be a really, really bad storm coming. We had a windstorm. We had hurricane force winds not too long ago for the first time here in Salt Lake City. And that was forecasted many days in advance that this was going to happen. Hey, bring your garbage cans in and tie down anything that might blow away, kind of thing. So be aware. Okay, you're a custodian. You're not just some random worker somewhere. You are a custodian, and being a custodian heightens who you are, because you're not just a custodian at some building or some burger joint. You are a school custodian, and school custodians are there for the education of the kids, and so the kids can get a good education, so that the teachers can, get the lessons taught properly and comfortably. So you have a huge role. You are a school custodian. So you need to be on top of things, forecast and anticipate. Plan ahead. I remember one year, so I was the head custodian at Beacon Heights for a while, like 7 years. And one year there was a spring snowstorm, and I had neglected to plan ahead and get my truck. There was some glitchy thing wrong with my truck, and I didn't get it taken care of. Yeah, there's going to be a big snowstorm this weekend, and yeah, I didn't bother to plan ahead. The snowstorm came, and I had a 1995 Firebird rear-wheel drive. Man, the thing was slick, beautiful, fast, until you got in the snow, and then it went nowhere. And I remember trying to drive up to work in that with roads that weren't plowed, and I got pretty close. I got to within a mile of work before the car slid off the road, and I had to walk the rest of the way through the snow drifts that had not been plowed yet. Yeah, plan and be prepared. Okay, listen to the forecasts, know what's coming, and then make plans. Okay, when I first became a head custodian, the first thing I did, I'm going to be the head custodian of Beacon Heights. Probably going to need a four-wheel drive truck to get to work. That's how deep I planned. I went out and bought another, it was a used vehicle, and it was pretty cheap and it ran. But the point is, I planned. So if you're at Ensign, Beacon Heights, Indian Hills, and you can think that you can get away without having four-wheel drive, you probably need to think again. Because, again, we need to plan and we need to be prepared for what's coming, whatever that is. So when you do plan, make sure you have a backup plan. When COVID hit our school district, we already had a plan on how to deal with certain things. Of course, who could see COVID coming? Nobody could really see it coming. Poof, it hit us. Fortunately, and when that started to change some plans, we still had a backup plan on things that we could do. So with extreme weather, have a backup plan on how you're going to be able to respond. Or what if I'm stuck in a snowdrift? Or what if my car won't start? Come on, it started fine last night, but it won't start today. Have a backup plan for how you're going to respond to extreme weather conditions. What happens if you're right in the middle of plowing snow and your snow machine goes down? What are you going to do? How are you going to take care of that? So again, always have a backup plan. Communication, email and group text. So this hasn't changed, to check your emails at least 3 times a day. Okay. Can't do anything about the weekends and when you're not at work, but I got to tell you, as a head custodian, I checked my emails. Yeah, I did. I checked my emails when I was at home and on the weekend, just in case there was something there. Why? I wanted to anticipate. I wanted to be ready. Okay, for me, it wasn't a big deal because I didn't spend hardly any time doing it. But the point of the matter was, I was always prepared. I was always ahead of the game. But if you don't want to be that way and you just want to check your emails when you're at work, that's fine. But you need to check them at least 3 times a day, whether you're a day custodian or a night custodian. You hear that, night custodians? Check them 3 times a day. Usually when you first get to work, usually right before you leave, and usually right around dinner time. Pretty easy. We are going to be using group texts much more often. Ricky has talked to me about some of the things that he has planned as the new custodial manager. And one of those things is to use more group text to get the messages out to you better, to be able to communicate better, either the needs or the expectations that we will have. Read your emails and texts thoroughly. Now, this is a huge epidemic in our department. Yeah, a lot of folks will check their emails, but they don't read them. How many times do we get questions about something we just sent an email out? And if somebody had bothered to read the email completely and thoroughly, the answer was right there. Or even the text. We'll text some information to somebody. And inevitably the question we'll get back is, so what about blah, blah, blah? Well, that was in the text, or that was in the email. So it's important to pay attention. Again, you're custodians, for heaven's sakes. You have a very important job. This isn't like flipping burgers, okay? This isn't some unimportant thing where if somebody doesn't get their flipping burger or their chicken, the world's going to come to an end. No. This is being a custodian, and being a custodian in a school is one of the highest callings that you can have. Because without you, teaching doesn't happen, okay? Kids don't learn. School's not open. Your job is absolutely vital. Okay, scheduled building time for these events. There's going to be some changes here, folks. We have to. Because we've had too many times that the schools have not been not open, but ready as much as they should be during these events. We've had some problems and some complaints in the past, and no more. So for snow removal, we're going to tighten up the wheels a little bit. on a day that we're going to have a snowstorm, or we've had a snowstorm in the middle of the night, snow removal 5 a.m. Okay, I know that deviates from your usual schedule, but again, you're going to be anticipating, hey, tomorrow there's supposed to be a snowstorm, or tonight there's supposed to be a snowstorm. I need to be to work at 5 a.m. tomorrow. Okay, 5 a.m. to 1:30. Other events are on an all on call, not an all call, but an on call schedule. So times could vary. But again, that's why we have the group text and the group email. Your regular schedule, head custodians, really needs to be 6 to 2:30. And I know some of you that doesn't work with your personal life. I got some bad news. We are here for the schools. We're here to get the schools ready for school. The superintendent makes his decision on whether or not to open or close a school on information they get from us. So it's very important that we have a schedule and maintain a schedule. And Ricky's going to be around to talk to everybody about that so that it's very, very clear what the regular schedule is for head custodians and for opening buildings, and what the expected schedule will be for snow removal. And just keep in mind that there will be people out in the mornings when it's snowing at 5 a.m. bright and early, taking a look to make sure that things are getting done. Okay, just wanted to let everybody know that. So natural disasters. Mostly here in Utah, when we talk about a natural disaster, we talk about an earthquake. You could get a tornado that could just show up randomly. It's happened before. But most of the time we're going to talk about earthquakes. So on the off chance we get an earthquake, and we've had a couple in my career. We had a minor one back in the 80s, and we had a much bigger one, just this last year. And one of the things that we got was contradicting orders. The superintendent says, all employees stay home. Well, here's the thing. When they mean all employees, they mean all employees that aren't critical. Because custodians are different. Like I'd said, we are the front line. We are so different than any other employee in this school district. Okay, things don't happen in the buildings without us. So with something like an earthquake, know what your role is. If it happens while school's in session, know and understand what you're supposed to be doing. And really digging kids out of the rubble, unless you're trained and qualified to do that, and unless you've got a team member to help you do it, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. So know what you're supposed to do. This last time was just amazing how our custodians knew what they were supposed to do, checking damage to the building. That's huge. Is the building safe to be in? Is it safe to occupy? Does it have lights? Does it have power? Is there a gas line break, a water line break, anything like that? Checking the utilities to make sure they're working, check for down power lines, things like that. So again, knowing your role and knowing that the orders that you're going to be looking for aren't necessarily coming from the superintendent, who could be a brand new superintendent who really doesn't know and understand the role of a custodian. Knowing the role of a building custodian and what you're supposed to be doing. And then you need to take whatever orders come from up your food chain. So custodial manager would be the person that you would be getting orders from. Facilities management. Okay. And just know that you folks are the first line of information. You're the boots on the ground. Again, I hate to make that military term, but it is very, I'll tell you, this analogy is just dead on. That out there on the field, we'll call it, in the field, You folks are the eyes and the ears of this district. If the superintendent needs to know something, it's your information that's going to get to the superintendent. So we need accurate information. No, my building's fine, everything's good. Oh yeah, except for that big crack that's down there. Oh yeah, except for the gas line that's leaking. Okay, accurate information. So again, be that professional. Make sure that you check your building like you're supposed to. Whether it's down power lines because of a windstorm, whether it's because of ice that's underneath all of the snow that you've just removed, whether it's from an earthquake, whatever. Getting the accurate information about the situation at your site is absolutely vital, because important decisions are made based on your information. Yeah, like whether or not we're all going to go home, whether or not we're all going to close school, whether or not we're going to have the teachers show up, whatever it is. These decisions are made, again, based on the information that you, the custodian, provide up the chain. So be responsive and know your emergency protocols, such as your power outage, your earthquake, your flood, wind, things like that. Know all of those protocols. And there's that little flip chart thingy, bomb threat, all that stuff. It's in there. That is in your building. So there's that. There's other places to find your emergency protocols for your building. If you have any questions, either ask one of us, or better yet, ask the secretary in the building, because they know pretty much everything about where those kind of things are. Okay. Now, an important part is to train your crew on emergency protocols. How many times do I get a call from a night custodian who has no idea what the protocol is? Because of a windstorm, because of a power outage of all things. I have night custodians who don't know the power outage protocol. So whose goof up is that? Head custodian. Head custodian needs to be training their crew on those emergency protocols, such as power outages, such as what happens when there's a fire sprinkler, or fire alarm, or whatever. Train your crews on emergency protocols, period. And don't just train them once. Monthly trainings are good. Reminders. Hey, this is where that shutoff is. Hey, this is who you need to call just in case. Very, very important. Not just cleaning the building. Yes, cleaning the building is important. But how much worth is a custodian who can only clean a building? When there's an emergency and they come to you for answers, and I don't know where anything is. My head custodian's never shown me anything. And so if you are a night custodian and your head custodian's been a slacker, get on your head custodian. Hey, I need to know where these emergency shutoffs are. I need to know what the protocol is for snow, for wind, for earthquake, whatever it is. Okay. Finally, we are essential employees. You see these superheroes here? Well, that's what you are. You are essential. That's part of your job. So if when you became a custodian, you didn't realize that and you want out, then now's a good time, because you're essential. You are vital. Essential is not a great word. Vital is a great word, because that's exactly what you are. You are vital to the operation of that building, to the education that goes on in that building. Nothing moves, nothing happens without the custodian taking care of things. So if there's ever a question from any of your crew members, well, I heard that they canceled school today. Do we need to come in? That question's very valid if you work somewhere else, like a burger joint or, factory work, things like that. That's a very valid question. When you are a custodian, you're essential. Now, Sweepers, I understand. Hey, do we need to come in? Usually we don't bring sweepers in because they aren't essential to the function of the building. Sweepers are usually there to just do some cleaning. But I'm talking about you contract custodians, vested people. Okay, you're 8-hour people. We are essential employees. We are vital employees. If school gets canceled, if there's an earthquake, if there's wind, whatever, there is no question. There should be no question. You're vital. Go to work. And if nobody's there and everyone says, well, what the heck are you doing at work? You should go home. Well, that's fine. But just know and understand that you are vital to the operation of the building and the operation of the school district. Okay? We try to help show everybody that you are that professional and that you are that vital person. Well, thanks for joining us today. I think we have beat this horse to death. At least I have certainly tried to, so that you can understand exactly what you need to be doing in these emergency times. So take care. We'll see you again on our next training. Thanks.